Has the United States surrendered under pressure, or is this preparation for something even further? So, the United States, under its President Donald Trump, announced a quote unquote ceasefire or halt of operations on Monday through media. And it has been told by a lot of media outlets that Iran had requested this ceasefire. But then again, it is very difficult to trust Western media based on how much propaganda they do. So, what exactly is going on? We have to find out because usually, whenever so-called halts are conducted in operations, as we have seen in Russia, Ukraine, this is usually a preparation for something much bigger. So let's take a look at what are potential eventualities. All right. So, firstly, the first possibility is that this is actually a ceasefire and that either side has decided that it is not viable to continue the war long term. But why I feel that this is not the case is because Iran does not want to stop. It cannot appear weak during the time it has created a havoc in the Gulf and with the United States and Israel. Honestly, this war was very unwarranted for, but the fact that it had to happen is another problem. But considering it happened now, just stopping it all of a sudden midway, while the United States has pounded Iran so badly, is just doesn't sound anything like that. That sounds like sense to me. So this does not look like a ceasefire to me, but it looks more like a preparation for something bigger, or this looks like a method to shorting markets. Because honestly, this couldn't be a coincidence that 15 minutes prior to President Trump's announcement, there was a huge shortage in market, and a lot of amount, almost close to $1 billion, were put in the American market all of a sudden. So insider trading, I am not alleging anything, but you never know. And as far as I'm aware, it is not even illegal in the United States, which is very surprising to me. All right. So now, if we talk about what could be potential eventualities, Israel has said that it requires 3 more weeks to complete the operation. It is halfway there. It has destroyed around 180 missile launchers, which could be believable because as much as I do not support the United States or Iran or Israel, anybody in this war, because this was completely unwarranted. This is causing a lot of problems worldwide, not just for India, but Australia is facing fuel shortages. I just read the news. And Japan is facing, obviously, they're releasing oil reserves. Europe is just, I don't know what they're going to do because they killed Russian energy as well. And now Gulf energy is also gone. So, United States is going to make a huge buckload of money, but even the United States is incapable of supplying the world's oil, even with Venezuela, because it takes times to come up with oil refineries, and you just do not have the same capacity that is available in the Gulf and the capacity of the refineries available in the Gulf, which do not exist anymore because a lot of the refineries. What happened with them is Iran targeted them. These were the main priority targets, and Iran targeted these refineries, and a lot of these refineries declared force majeure. Now, what does force majeure means? It means that you cannot fulfill a contract because of an act of God, which is again, which is going to be a huge problem for countries dependent on Gulf energy supplies, specifically East Asia, and even China is going to take a hit. They are already putting price caps on fuel, and like people are in lines and whatnot. India has not faced oil shortage yet, but I think that if the war prolongs into 2 or 3 months, India might face the same issue as well. Right now, Indian Navy is the only navy operating in the Hormuz Strait. There were a lot of destroyers spotted escorting oil and gas vessels, and even the United States did not have the guts to go through Hormuz. So that shows something that the Indian Navy is definitely the net security provider of the Indian Ocean area. But what this could be next is likely an amphibious assault because the 23rd Marine Expeditionary Unit. Now, what are these Marine Expeditionary Units? These are units specialized to complete a specific tasks and get out. These are not your average battalions that you have to send to capture land. These are meant to so that you can enter someplace, conduct a mission, or capture somebody or kill somebody and exit immediately. So this looks more like a potential eventuality to open the Hormuz Strait, because how they can open the Hormuz Strait is because once you control those mini islands in the Hormuz Strait, I will put a clip on the screen what I'm talking about. But when you see these islands, it is very likely that the marine expeditionary units could be sent there to capture these islands, and then once you have sea control of the island, you can send warships that intend to clear up mines. You can send minesweepers, you can send destroyers to provide complete area air defense and sweeping of mines that may have been put by the IRGC. Now, the US claims to have destroyed all Iranian warships, but I am still not sure what happened to those 3 to 4 kilo class submarines that they operate. Are they still underwater? Are they destroyed? I am not aware. If they are destroyed, do let me know in the comments. But it is very likely that they are still present under the sea. And kilo class submarines are some of the quietest diesel electric boats in the world. Even NATO exercises had a hard time detecting these boats because of just how quiet they were. So this is one problem. And the fact that is these missions are very risky. Now, I have been tracking Flight Radar 24 for quite some time, and I have noticed a spark in activities of C-17 Globemaster and C-5 Galaxy aircraft. And these aircraft, these are strategic airlifters. So what this means is either in the 5 days, they are replenishing interceptor stocks, which is very unlikely given the fact that the US does not have such amount of production capacities anymore. But these could be replacements for the THAAD radars that were destroyed by Iran, for the Patriot batteries that were destroyed by Iran, which was very insane to me. I mean, America likes to present its equipment as if it's some sort of God Avengers level thing, but the fact that a lot of it got destroyed on day one, the F-35 got hit, although it did survive. So that was propaganda that it got shot down, but it did get a hit. The multiple F-15s were shot down, and then they give a weird ass propaganda reasoning like a laundry fire on Gerald R. Ford. I mean, yes, let's be real, warships do have this problem. This is not something to laugh about, that these sailors do face a lot of problems with the toiletry and the excretory parts of a warship. But um, all of a sudden, between a conflict and all of a sudden, you move back both of your carriers to the Red Sea. So that raises some alarm bells. I am not saying it was hit, could have been, because a lot of open source intelligence does point that the Gerald R. Ford was slightly damaged in an attack through missiles or drones. I don't know whether how much of that is true, but again, that is a very normal possibility. It could happen. Losses are a part of combat. So, with putting amphibious assault units in the Hormuz or in the Kharg Island, that is going to be a dangerous mission, because you have to make sure it goes successful. These amphibious assault ships, for example, the USS Boxer, they come with their own F-35B Lightning aircraft. These are vertical takeoff aircraft, so they don't have to take a full runway. They can just lift up like this and just go in the air. And then they also carry V-22 Osprey helicopters. These are tilt rotor helicopters that are usually faster than traditional helicopters, but can also fold and be compact like a traditional helicopter. So these can carry some special forces troops on board, likely US Navy SEALs or Delta Force could be a part, or 75th Ranger Regiment could be a part, because they are experts at anti-runway airfields, if the anti-runway missions, if they seek to capture some sort of airfield. But all of them were already destroyed in the war, so I don't see a potential of the Rangers coming in. But the largest potential I see is the capture of Kharg Island, which is very much possible. And it has been seen with the United States that they claim to do negotiations, they claim to do X and Y, then all of a sudden somehow wars stop on Friday and start on Monday, as if stock markets and wars are timed alongside. So this is very surprising, honestly, to me, and a lot of people have been picking up on the same thing, that there has been definitely something fishy going on inside that the general public don't know, and we are being made fools of. Now, obviously, I'm not a US citizen, so I couldn't really care. I'm looking at the war at the sort of a neutral perspective, a neutral observer. I am not either sided with Iran or Israel or the US, because this war just doesn't make sense. It was unwarranted, and I just don't know what to do about it. So, anyways, another possible mission could be the extraction of the 440 kilogram highly enriched uranium. Now, for this alone, Delta Force or any other special forces battalion cannot handle this alone. For this, they require specialized teams like the CB, I think they are called NBC teams or something, nuclear biological chemical, which are trained from the ground up to handle such radioactive material, handle such chemically affecting material. So these teams can be brought in. But again, these missions are very high risk, because if I am able to think of such missions, definitely the IRGC is able to think of such missions. This is very possible that they also have contingency plans available. Um, you never know, because Iran is already on the losing footprint. No matter what they say, no matter what anybody says, Iran has suffered a hefty damage in this war, and they have responded back very well. And I think a lot of military commanders will have a lot of learning to do from this conflict. But the Iran is not doing very well, and you never know that they just see this invading force coming in, and they're like, no, all right, we are not dealing with this. Just send in missiles, just get them out of there, sink their amphibious assault ship. Because if it crosses to that point, then it is a total war for the US. Everybody knows that sinking an American ship or killing American soldiers is never has been gone good with the US public in the past. It always brings together the left and the right together. Even in World War II, the same thing happened. So again, possibilities are endless. We're just going to have to wait and see until Friday what happens. And I'm going to be keeping a close watch on this conflict. I was not making videos for a few days because it was the same thing, destroying radars, attacking, they attacked nuclear power plants, they attacked Israel's Dimona facility, they're shooting down planes, attacking Gulf oil refineries, Perth gas field. It is just, I don't know, that there was no point of this war. This was honestly unwarranted. But again, I also support Iran not having nuclear weapons, because already India is surrounded by Pakistan and China with nuclear weapons, and North Korea also has the capability. And now with having another nuclear neighbor, not exactly on your borders but nearby, would have been another dangerous thing for India. So I think that I am not simping for either side. I have been seeing people online just simping for either side. I am not simping for either, because the war was unwarranted. Diplomacy should have been used, but this is taking an interesting point. So I'm just keeping eyes on the war as a neutral observer. So that's all I had to say. And if you all have anything to say about the video, do let me know in the comments. Or if you have anything to correct me about, I can also be wrong. I am also a human being. If you saw anything wrong in the video, if you thought the facts were not matching with what is known in public reporting, do let me know and I will correct myself in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video. Take care and Jai Hind.